Welcome to a Red Velvet Ninja's Guide for Dreadphage Ohmna, the final boss in the Genetic Archives. You will want to bring 3 tanks, 4 healers, and 2 separate interrupts, and probably some movement abilities. And snares are incredibly useful. Ohmna goes into Phase 2 at 50%, and then Phase 3 at 15%. To start off, we recommend using add-ons for this encounter. We use these add-ons to track where we should be during certain phases. More information about these add-ons can be found in the description. So Ohmna is actually chilling out in this toilet hole that you can drop into and begin the encounter. Ohmna is a giant, angry mother in the middle of a room consisting of purple goo. She is huge and never moves, so you don't have to ever worry about trying to find her. This goo does add a stacking debuff that deals damage, so always try to minimize standing in it. Also, jumping in the goo adds stacks more quickly. Right off the bat, Ohmna has a few abilities, most notably her spew. She does a full 360 spew from her starting location, which should be where the tank is. It will one-shot you, so don't get hit by it. After the first spew, the off-tank should intimidate to get threat, so they can take Ohmna's knockback, thus allowing the main tank to stay where he is. There is always a threat dump after a spew, unless it's bugged. You can usually tell where it begins because the tank spot has an indentation in the platform. This indentation is created by Ohmna's body slam that smashes the platforms, and more than one if positioned incorrectly. Your tank will want to get hit by body slam and create an indentation, then move off that indentation, otherwise they will be standing in the bad purple goo. After this is done, the tank will stand on a different platform. When it becomes time for another body slam, the tank can move quickly into the indentation, thus preserving most of the platforms around Ohmna. Ohmna has a few abilities, such as Devour, where she will eat the tank and which must be interrupted right away, and Erupt, which is a huge knockback with small safe zones at Ohmna's 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. There is one more thing to worry about that must be dealt with. There are pillars at the north, south, east, and west areas of the room. This mechanic will require 1 healer and 5 DPS. If you are new to Ohmna, chances are these will be your top DPS. The group will want to have movement abilities to minimize the amount of time they will be spending trudging through the purple goo. Ohmna will place a squid on a pillar every 24 seconds, so it is important that the group gets the kill and starts moving to the next squid spawn, but also make sure to clear your purpley goo debuff. The squid will spawn on a pillar based on its current HP. They will always go in this pattern: lowest HP, highest HP, lowest HP, highest HP. If there is a tie, the spawn is random. These spawns continue through most phases with a little break for the bug phase and ending at the start of 3-head phase. Bug phase? What's that? Well, eventually Ohmna will submerge and a wave of adds will come from 4 opposing corners of the room. The raid must break up into 4 groups and intercept these adds. It is important that none of these tasty morsels make it to Ohmna's location because it causes her to heal and messes up the timing of other events. There are a few different types of adds. Butterflies are fast, snareable, stunnable, and easy to kill. Snails are slow, unstunnable, unsnareable, and have a moderate amount of health. Stem dragons have a moderate amount of speed with some interrupt armor, but can be stunned or snared. Also, there is a grub add that can also be stunned or slowed. Do your best to work with your team to chain these abilities. After your team has cleared its pack, check the other teams and see if you can help. After all the bugs are cleared, do not stand in the middle. Otherwise, Ohmna is going to pop up and murder you. At 50%, Ohmna starts adding little heads, which are high priority targets. 3 little heads will pop up in random locations around the platforms and cast a mini spew. These mini spews can and should be interrupted for the moo benefit. If the cast goes off successfully, the platform will be destroyed. This is important as platforms are a valuable resource in this encounter. Adds can spawn near the tank, so don't be afraid to get up there and burn it. Continue to burn down Ohmna until 17%, and then whittle her down a little bit. The goal is to move her into the next phase with the least amount of health possible. The best way to do this is by waiting for a spew and then going for a hard burn on her. Of course, the little heads still get priority, but if the stars align and your pillar group is back too, you will have a much more enjoyable final phase. Ohmna is going to submerge and this time summon 3 large heads. Thus, the raid will need to split into 3 groups to deal with them. Each group will need at least 1 tank, 1 healer, and an even split of DPS. These heads have abilities just like Ohmna, minus the spew. Each has a body slam and will destroy platforms, so make sure you take the slam off a platform. Big heads also have an erupt, so make sure that you are in line with your tank so you don't get knocked back. These heads also have Devour, so make sure that you save your interrupts for this, Little heads will still be spawning trying to eat your platforms, but don't waste your interrupts on them. They must be saved for big heads. Ohmna does occasionally make a guest appearance to do her classic 360 spew, in case you were missing it. This will give you a chance to knock out some of the random small heads, and then get back into position for the big heads. Beware of their initial knockback. Big heads share the same health pool, so once they are destroyed, it's time to get off the platform. Evacuate the middle because Ohmna is coming up for the final show, and this is where it gets crazy. All the platforms will be gone, so the purple goo debuff acts as a hardened rage. Your team will want to pick one location to group up and move as a team in a circle around Ohmna. As always, ads are priority, but try to cleave Ohmna as much as possible. During this phase, Ohmna's hitbox is incredibly huge, so focus on the ads and you're probably going to hit Ohmna anyway. Be aware, her spew is very fast during this phase, so try to save movement abilities for these occasions. There are nasty knockbacks that will definitely get you out of position. Make sure you have health pots, because this is the time to use it. Ohmna is a very fun encounter that is fitting for the last boss of the raid. My best advice for this portion is that everyone just takes a deep breath and focuses on what needs to get done. Burn the ads, cleave Ohmna, stay out of the red, watch out for the spew. Best of luck on securing your kill. And that wraps it up for this encounter. If this video helped you, please drop it a like. For any questions, please use the comments below. Of course, subscribe to this channel for more WildStar raid videos and entertainment, or visit us on redvelvetninjas.com.